Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday night Ahhhh meditation program. With all my heart and with all my love, I welcome you to our program tonight. And so good to be back. And it's been, I don't know, almost 8 weeks since I've been able to be in your divine company. That's what we're all about, is keeping the company of the divine, the truth of who you are. And so to be able to come together and celebrate that, enjoy that, do practices that immerse us directly in the awareness of that. That's what we're doing here. So thank you for joining us this evening. And this is our 100th live program during COVID times, coming to you from my home. So welcome to my home, welcome to Satsang, and so good to be able to share this time with you. And I want to thank so many of you who have been sending their love, their blessings, their good wishes as I've been healing from surgery, and that's really been so helpful and touched my heart. So thank you for that. We start the programs with making use of the extraordinary power of mantra, because mantra is a throb of the infinite. Mantra is a throb of your own sublime nature, who you are. And so especially in the sadhana of Kundalini, this unfolding of that infinite power of consciousness that's innate to every one of us, it's Shakti Kundalini that takes the form of all mantras. Now that's true across all traditions. That is recognized as the source of what's the throb behind the sound forms that mantra takes. Well, what gives birth to all those sounds, all those different forms, is this power of consciousness, this power that's also known as the face of the divine, the power of revelation, the power of grace. And one of the simplest and most potent mantras is simply 2 syllables, AHAM, AHAM. Very easy to do. And AHAM, it means I am. I am. That bare awareness of simply being. So meditation and all the practices are aimed at being able to dissolve the ordinary mind in its source. Its source is that awareness. Aham, I am. So we come to know that I am that I am. I am that I am awareness. It's the awareness that then doesn't get attached to I am a man, I am a woman, I am this role, I am this thought, I am this feeling, I am this memory, this. No. All that gets let go of. So we can simply come home to that awareness of I am. I am. Easing the mind, easing the body, so we can enter that spaciousness of awareness. So we're going to start with a very simple practice, and it's making use of that mantra, I am, Aham. And it's done silently, right? So that's a mantra in a sense. We're listening to that sound, the ah as the breath comes in, and the hum as the breath goes out. Ah as the breath comes in. Hum as the breath goes out. Ah as the breath comes in. Hum as the breath goes out. And we're going to do it along with the harmonium very simply, right? So it's going to be, as the breath comes in, it's ah. Hum as the breath goes out. Ahhhh. Just silently in the mind. Resting in that bare awareness of simply being. breath slows and deepens. And then just continuing to breathe, almost like you're hearing the ah as the breath comes in, and the hum as the breath goes out. The ground of being is the truth of who you are. Become home to that. So as we're doing that mantra, it's an invitation to let go all the things that we've become throughout the day, throughout the past, all the ways the mind identifies with this or that. A feeling arises. We become the feeling. We get tired of the feeling. We try to banish the feeling. Some feelings are like Velcro, they stick to us. Some thoughts are like that. We can dissolve them all in the simple awareness of I am. It's that awareness of boundlessness, of spaciousness. It's that awareness that's invoked by that dharana of looking at the sky. And awareness naturally wants to expand into the fullness of being, so that we get free of the contractedness that happens solely by identification with the mind. The difference between bondage and freedom is, are we identified with the mind and its content, or are we identified with the truth of our infinite, boundless nature? All the practices are aimed at shifting us out of that habitual response of the mind to become each thing that arises. This is why there's a real brilliance to the ancient psychology of yoga that talked about ahamkara. Ahamkara is a part of the mind, and ahamkara means little I maker. It makes a little I, a little me, a little sense of myself. It makes that by identification with content. Now that content might be a sensation from the body. It might be a delightful sensation. It might be a wonderful feeling. It might be an expansive thought. Or it might be contracted ones. It There might be painful ones. It might be whole patterns of those that bind the mind. And it's a pattern that has gone on for lifetimes. So it's not just something we go like this, oh, I think I'll shift my attention and then I'll be free of the mind. In a sense, the dynamic is that simple. But to do that means we do it over and over and over again. The invitation is always there. The divine within has its arms open all the time, saying, I love you. Come into my embrace. That's the awareness of that. That's the awareness of dissolving into that boundlessness of being. That's what Buddha was talking about when he talked about the four immeasurables. It was this quality of that pure, unbounded awareness, the boundless wisdom that's there. We want to know, but the mind's ordinary way of knowing is limited. It's limited to what it can conceive of. It's limited to what it can think of. It's limited to what can be contained in thoughts and words. The infinite cannot be contained. So there's a humbling of the mind in this, as to learn to let go. Because pure knowing is the nature of that consciousness. That's why it's boundless wisdom. Another quality that Buddha talked about, and the yogis talked about, is this boundless, rapturous joy. That's a quality of that awareness. Ananda is that. We all want greater joy, greater happiness, greater fullness. But we just can't find that in the ephemeral world. That's what all the yogis, mystics of all traditions, saints and sages of all traditions, come to know that. We intuit it because the knowing is inherent to everyone. But so often we intuit it for a moment and then we go, oh no, but maybe if I really ate that, had that, drank that, did this, I'd feel so much better. It never works out. It never lasts. We've been doing this for lifetimes. That's what makes us seekers, until we've finally found the truth in our heart. The living flame. The living flame of the divine. Inextinguishable. Illumines from within all that you perceive. Without its illumination, you couldn't perceive anything. Not a thought, not a feeling, not a sensation, not a memory, not the outer world, not the inner world. What illumines all of that? The light of the boundless consciousness of the self, the infinite, the divine within, the truth of who you are. And the quality of that experience is this rapturous, joyous love that envelops everything. We see all. That's who you are. So all we see is the self. All we see is the beloved in everyone and everything. That's what happens when we pull aside the curtain of thoughts in the mind. There's this unbelievable living presence everywhere. And there's such an extraordinary boundlessness of fullness. There's nothing lacking in that. So when Buddha talked about another one of the four immeasurables as this boundless equanimity, because what disturbs our equanimity? A thought, a feeling, a need, a want, a want for something, a need to avoid something. It all disturbs our extraordinary peace and fullness. When we rest in that boundlessness of being, then that unshakable equanimity is also ours. So these are the qualities that are the beacons of the light of the self. That's what we head towards. The boundless compassion that Buddha also spoke of. It's a compassion that's not mind-born. The mind gives birth to some compassion, but it's always limited. It can get tested, and then we get testy. We lose our patience, we lose our compassion. That's because that's the mind attempting to embody the infinitude of compassion, the infinitude of the light of that. The more we get the mind out of the way, then that floods our being. That's what pours into the everything. How can we not have compassion and love for our own self? Because that's all there is. There is no other. That's what it is to know there is no other. So as St. John of the Cross said, when he was given the blessing to see through God's eyes, St. John of the Cross said, all God sees is himself. We're invited to know that. We're endowed with that capacity. Now in the yogic tradition, that's given a particular name, Kundalini, the power of consciousness, but it's not unique to that. Holy Spirit, right? Shekinah, consciousness. Many different names for the same thing. But it's the knowing that is beyond the mind. It's the knowing that sets us free from the mind. It's the knowing that comes through that power alone. It's not something the mind can mimic. The mind can't erase itself. It's not like the Cheshire Cat in, Alice in Wonderland, and erases itself when it's gone. The mind can't do that. It wasn't created to do that. That's not the dharma of the mind. Shakti created the mind. It wasn't a mistake. The mind is for knowing differences, being able to navigate this world. But we also have the capacity to know the infinite as our own self. As fully and completely as we think ourselves to be, this limited body, mind, gender, roles, whatever it is, we want to know with the absolute certainty, with the absolute fullness of knowing, I am Ahhhhh. An awareness that embraces all. No one, nothing left out. Ahhhhh. So we keep coming back home to that awareness. Ahhhhh. It's that awareness that underlies other mantras. So in a few minutes we're going to be chanting the great mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And the lineage that I studied with, and Muktananda give to everyone. And I've taken the power of that mantra into prisons, into hospitals, into every kind of situation, alone with others, all kinds of things, and seen the absolute Shakti, power of that, throb of the infinite, transform people, places, situations, opening our experience to the infinitude of who we are. Om Namah Shivaya. Yes, it means I bow to the auspicious one. But we do it with the awareness of Ahhhh. am the mantra. I am Shiva. I am a throb of the infinite. I am all that is throbbing, pulsing, vibrating as the infinite. I am. I am Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham. We do it with the awareness of that and the auspicious one. Now those are words, those are concepts for the mind, so that it has something to at least hold on to until it too dissolves in the ocean of consciousness that has arisen as a wave of Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We ride that wave into the infinite, so that even the sound form of the mantra begins to disappear. And all that's there is a throb, a pulse of pure awareness of being. Being the truth of who you are. Free. Right here, right now. All times, all places. Ahhhh. Ahhhh. Become home to that. We revel in that. Then that inexhaustible stream of love, of compassion, of patience, of kindness, of wisdom. We're in that stream. We are that stream. That's what we know. So now we're going to be chanting Om Namah Shivaya for a few minutes. The slow chant. We'll chant it together so you can chant at home. And then after a few minutes of chanting it in unison, though I won't be hearing you, but we'll be chanting that together. And then we'll just sit in the stillness, in the silence. In that silence, just rest in the pure awareness of being, the truth of who you are. If the mind moves, you can invite it to rest on the breath, on the as the breath comes in, the hum as the breath goes out. Or you can have it rest on Om Namah Shivaya as the breath comes in, and Om Namah Shivaya as the breath goes out. And we're surrendering the mind to the graceful presence, the embrace of the divine, that is the embrace of the mantra coursing through mind and body, bringing grace into every cell, every atom, every aspect of our existence. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So now we'll chant. Shri Kali Devi Ki Jai. Om Namah Just resting in your own sublime self. As bare awareness, as a throb of mantra, as hum, I am. We end with this prayer. And may all our practices truly benefit everyone. And may all beings know complete freedom from suffering. Namaste. Freedom from suffering. That's the state. I am free. I am free. Free. Beyond imagining. Beyond all thoughts and concepts, all words, all sounds. I am. The very root of your existence rests in that. All times, all places, no matter how agitated the mind or the body might be, underneath it is the ground of being. Keep coming back to that over and over throughout the day. A few breaths, just coming to rest again. So many things in life and in the mind invoke the delusion of being bound and limited, caught at the mercy of this thought, that feeling, this person, that situation. Invoke the truth. I am the steady ground of being, the support of your life. Even though you may not be aware of it, there would be no life itself without that. Come home to that. Know true freedom. Know boundless love and compassion. Equanimity, wisdom. They're already yours. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for bringing your sublime nature, the truth of who you are, the power of your practices, the power of your commitment to practice, and walking those into the world. This is a tough age. It's Kali Yuga, the dark age in the Eastern traditions. So that light of knowing is especially important, to walk that light of knowing into everyday life. Bless you for doing that in every way that you do. So thank you. Thank you for coming. And thank you for supporting Anam Cara through your donations, through coming, through doing practices, for sharing the e-newsletter with people. So thank you for that. And hopefully I'll see you in the next satsang. So until then, rest in the truth. You are the divine. So, love to all.